This is a brief introduction to database queries in Access 2016. Queries are simply questions that we go ahead and ask of the database, and we're able to go ahead and also store or save those questions to use them again. And this is a New York Department of Motor Vehicles database. We've got one table called drivers. Let's take a look at that. You can see in this table we have the license number, birth date, last name, first name, address, city, state, zip, and gender of the driver. And in another table called tickets, that carries the ticket number, the driver's license number, which we'll be linking it, of course, back to the driver's table, the ticket date, the city where the ticket was given, primary factor, unsafe speed, passing lane violation, etc., the officer's badge number, as well as the fine. Now the first question they would like to ask is they would like to get a summary data query built that looks at the number of tickets by city and violation. Let's create a query that counts the number of tickets issued by city and violation. To do that, we're going to go over to the Create menu and click that, and then in the Queries group, we're going to go ahead and click Query Design. We're going to be working with the tickets table. So what we want to do is, with our Show Table box, a window has opened up here for us. Here we have the Tables tab. Go down to Tickets, have it highlighted, and click Add. We can go ahead now and close this window. And let's adjust the tickets display of fields here by going to the bottom and getting a double-headed arrow so we can resize it so we can see all the fields and not have to worry about a scroll bar there. We want to add 3 fields to the query. Down below here you have the fields that we're going to be adding. Different ways you can do this. We're going to go ahead at this point. Let's go up here. We want to add first the city field, so I'm going to go ahead and double click it. That will place it down here. You can see it says city and it's from the table called tickets. The next field they would like to add is the primary factor field. A second way to add, let's look at a variety of ways. You could hit the drop down arrow here and simply select primary factor. And the final field they want to add to the query is we would like to go ahead and get the ticket number. So let's grab the ticket number right there. Now, remembering our purpose for this query is to count the number of tickets by city, we're going to want to go ahead, it's a summary query, so we want to go ahead and add a total row down here in this query window. To go ahead and add the total row, you're going to recognize or notice up here that when we started building our query, a new tab opened up called Query Tools, and we are in Design tab of that. And in the Design tab, if you would like to go ahead and add a total row, you simply go over to the Totals icon right here. Click it once. And you can see what that's done is down here, it's added a total row. And by default, it shows group by for each one of the fields. Now, our intention is to develop a query that will give us the number of tickets by city and violation. So the group by works perfect. We want to go ahead and group by city and group by the type of violation, which is in the primary factor field. That's fine. And here are the ticket numbers. And what do we want to do there? We want to get a count of that. So in the total row, you would simply go to the ticket number field, click where it says group by, that will give you a drop down arrow. Click the drop down arrow and select count. Next, let's save the query with the name ticket count by city and factor. So you go up to the upper left hand corner of your screen and click the save icon. It's ticket count by city and factor. and click OK. We are now ready to run our query. To run your query, one way to do that is to go over on the Design tab, go over to the Results group, and you see a red exclamation point icon with the word Run under it. Click the Run icon. And there you have the results of your query. What it shows is you see the city and the violation, and then how many tickets were for that particular violation. It first groups by city, and then within city it's grouping by the type of violation. So Albany had 4 types of violations, and these are the summaries for this time period of the tickets. On to Buffalo, etc. This is a query now that as this database changes, you may want to run this report monthly, weekly, you don't know, daily. No longer do you have to build that query. The query is saved, and whenever you want to run it, you would simply go to open this database, go into your queries, click on the ticket count by city and factor, and click the exclamation point to run it, and you would see your results. That's the power of queries. Let's do a little bit of a best fit here, just so this looks a little better. Get your double-headed arrow on the label and double-click to open them up as wide as they need to be to display the data, including the heading. Let's save those changes to the query. And also let's make a copy of the query. One way to make a copy of a query is to simply go over to our Access Objects window on the left and right-click as you hover over the query that we want to make a copy of and select Copy. Next, staying in the same area in the All Access Objects window, right-click and select Paste from the drop-down menu. And here we have a new query name called Copy of Tickets by City and Factor. We would like the name for this to be Ticket Count by Factor. And click OK. Let's go ahead and edit the query in Design View. So we'll open it up. We're in Datasheet view, so we can go over here. And you can see you can go right down to Design View. That shows us our tickets table opened up with its fields, as well as the fields that have been selected for the query down at the bottom. What we'd like to do now is delete the city field. So to delete the city field, you can select it with the down arrow, right-click, and cut. Another way you could delete a column is when you're in the Query Tools Design tab. Wherever your cursor is in your query window down here, whatever field it's in, if you click Delete Columns, it would delete the field that way as well, from the query, not from the table. Let's also go ahead and sort the ticket number field in descending order. To do that, you would go to the Sort row and move over to the ticket number field, click, hit the drop down arrow, and select Descending. Now you can see what we've done here. By eliminating or deleting the city field, we now will group by the type of ticket for all cities, because city doesn't exist anymore. So we're going to group by the type of ticket, and then we're going to count that in descending order, each type of ticket, which means that you're going to get your largest number of tickets, whatever that factor is, whatever that type of ticket is, you're going to get that to appear first and moving down in descending order. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's save our query first by going up in the upper left-hand corner, clicking the Save icon, and then let's run our query. And there you see it. We now have in descending order a count of the tickets for each type of ticket that's given in this particular table. Let's close the query. We can do that by going over and clicking the X right here. The next query we would like to create is going to entail using fields from two tables. And in this case, we would like to go ahead and take a look at a query that shows us for every driver how many tickets they have. So we want the drivers, and we want to see the number of tickets that each driver has. So let's go ahead and build that summary query. So to create our new query, again, we go over to the Create tab, and to the Queries group, select Query Design. Since we're going to go ahead and need both tables, let's do that. Let's add the drivers table, and then click on Tickets and add the Tickets table. Close your Show Table window. And let's resize these displays so we don't have to use scroll bars to see all of our fields. And you can see that there is already a relationship of one-to-many here. And it's the license number of the driver is, of course, the driver's license number over in the tickets field. That's the link between the two tables that will allow us to generate a query coordinating the information from both tables. Let's add the following fields. We'll get the license number field, so I'll double click that. We'll get the first name field next, and then we'll get the last name field, and we'll get the fine, so we have to go over to the tickets table for that one, and we will go ahead and get the ticket number. Next, we want to add the total row to our query. So to do that, remember we're in our Query Tools Design tab. You can go over, add to the Summation Totals icon, and click it. That adds your total. It's going to be grouping by license number, and within license number by first name and last name fields. And we would like to go ahead and get a summary or a summation of the fine. So let's go down, instead of group by, for the fine field, which is here, we're going to click in the total row, get our drop down arrow, and select sum. And for the ticket number field, we would once again like to get the count for a particular driver of the number of tickets that they've received. So we'll again go to the total row, click the drop down arrow in the ticket number field, and we're going to select the count function from our drop down list. And we'd also like to get this sorted in descending order by fine. We want to have at the top of our list the person who is paying the most in fines. So to do that, we would see the sort row is right here. We'll go over to the fine field, hit the drop down arrow, and select descending. Let's save the query, and the name we're going to use is Tickets by Driver. And click OK. And now we are ready to go ahead and run our query. And there are your results. You can see that the fines, this is the sum of the fines for this particular driver. They had 4 tickets, and it goes now it's sorted by the sum, by the amount that they're paying. And you can see from $1,040 all the way down to $45. And it has a count here of the number of tickets that this is a summation of. And that's a introductory summary to queries. In later chapters and units, there's a lot more we'll be doing with them. But for now, that's a good start. Look forward to seeing you again online very soon.